Welcome to the Metal Bob Live Podcast. I am your host, Metal Bob. Today's show is brought to you by Legend Picks, artist Jeremiah Kalleck, and also the Texas Vinyl Coalition. You can find links to our sponsors and more on the Metal Bob Live website. There you can also find links to the latest Metal Bob gear, including shirts, hoodies, and more. On today's show, I have the honor of speaking with vocalist and guitarist Tory Stoffregen of the New Black 7, Enuff Z'Nuff, and Motherload. We discuss new music from the New Black 7 and also his time on the road with Enuff Z'Nuff. So sit back, have a listen, and enjoy the show. Thank you. Hello, Tory.
Hi there. How's it going?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Sorry I was late. I haven't used Skype, so I downloaded it, but I didn't know you had to do a bunch of stuff to get going.
Oh, no worries. I appreciate your time tonight, man. It means a lot.
Awesome. Thank you.
I know you, to do it. I know you said you're not a huge interview guy, man, but I wasn't going to stop bothering you. I wasn't going to stop bothering you until you said yeah, so it's probably a good thing you did, so.
It's all good. It's all good.
So you just recently moved to Boston, huh?
I've been here for about a year.
Okay.
Yeah. It's south. It's out of the city. It's a nice little town. It's called the South Shore down here. Real laid back, just like me.
Right on. So why the move to Boston? Just somewhere you always wanted to land, or what?
I fell in love.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
So, man, yep. I know you've been super busy over the last few years doing this Enuff Z'Nuff gig, and but my question is, so what's the status of New Black 7? Is that something that we're gonna see again?
I sure hope so. I mean, that was kind of my baby that I put it together. I wrote the first album all by myself, and then I don't know, just that we couldn't get it going. I don't know why. I mean, we did 3 records, and we have another one coming out. So Jason, it's basically down to Jason and I now at this point, and then just using, whoever. We've used Chip for a gig, and Chip and Dan. So basically we did a New Black 7 gig with Enuff Z'Nuff plus Jason.
Okay.
Which was awesome. It was really cool. I'd love to do more of that. And obviously everything's on hold right now, but I sure love all the music that we did. The last one was a little too commercial for me. I'm more of a country guy, but we kind of got pulled into the old Nashville pop country thing a little bit on the last one, but oh well, shit happens there.
Right. Yeah, man, I was lucky enough to see you guys play in Wisconsin there a few years back.
Which gig?
You guys played the Country Fest.
Oh, yeah.
I got to come down and see you guys play there back then, and I really enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed the band, Closing Time and Fly Me to Freedom is probably one of my favorite songs. They're great. Oh, man, thank you. Great songs. I mean, what was the inspiration behind Fly Me to Freedom? What had you writing that one?
Yeah. Man, I was on a flight. It was on an Enuff Z'Nuff gig, and I had gotten bumped on a couple flights, I think because of weather and stuff. And I finally got on a flight home, and I don't know, I was in a terrible mood. I'd been traveling all day, and there was only a few people on this flight, and I'm just like, I'm in a terrible mood. There's a guy in fatigues, like a soldier, sitting kind of close to me, and the girl strikes up a conversation with him. And she was like, "You going home?" He's like, "Yeah. I've been traveling for 3 days straight just to get home today, and I can't wait to get home." And he said, my captain told me when I was going, he's like, "Here you go, fly to freedom." And I was just like, whoa, I'm sitting here acting like an asshole. In my head, I don't think I was acting like an asshole, but I sure wasn't in the best of moods. And this guy was cheery as could be. And that stuck with me, that he said that someone told him to fly in freedom when he was leaving the Middle East. And I was just like, wow, that's a great line.
Yeah, that's a great song, man. That's a cool story.
Thank you. And then we did the video. I took a bunch of my home movies from when I was a kid. So the video really meant a lot. I think, to me and Jason, using a lot of our childhood videos with our parents in them and stuff.
Right. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I love it. Hey, so I'm going to get back to Enuff Z'Nuff. So you've been in that band you've been in there quite a while now. It's been over a decade.
Yeah. Well, I took a little hiatus there when I went to form the New Black Seven. Things in my mind had kind of fallen apart completely, and not to get into too much, but just, I think we were in England, and I think Chip and Johnny got in like a shoving match at the end of a gig. It was on the last night of a tour there. And I just said, I don't need to be involved in a band that's having shoving matches and starting to get violent. I was like, so I kind of sent the email and just said, Tory's left the building. And I'd already met Brent Arsamit, the drummer that played on the first, played on all three of the records, the New Black Seven things. I'd met him in Puerto Rico on a gig, and he's a great musician and a good guy, and just plays every instrument, sings great. And I just said, man, I'm writing these country songs. And sorry, I got off track there, but
no, you're all right.
That's why I left. I just, stuff was getting really weird with the Enuff Z'Nuff thing. So I left. I think that was around 2013 when I left there. And then I came back. I think they tried a few different things, and I parked the bus. We were doing a New Black Seven thing down towards Chicago, and we parked the bus in front of Chip's house. We always remained friends. And parked the bus there, and him and I kind of reconnected. He called me soon after that. What year was that? It had to be I think I was gone for 3 years, so maybe 2015, 2016. And he said, bro, if I called you next week and wanted to talk to you, he said, just say yes or no. If I called you next week, bro, would you listen? And I said, yep. He goes, love you. Call you next week. And that's what he did. He called me.
That's a great impression, man.
I can't quite get the Chicago accent in there, but I get the gruffness. But yeah, he called me at that time, and I could kind of see that it was going to be really hard to tour with the New Black Seven. So that's when Tony Fennell had come back, and he was like, I'm gonna start singing. I was like, great, one less person to deal with.
Absolutely.
So that's when I came back.
You guys have put out, at least I know you put out Diamond Boy. Then there was at least one other album that you've recorded with them.
I didn't record on the one that was coming out, Clown's Lounge.
Okay.
Yep, that was coming out right when I came back. That was already, everything was done when I came back. So I think maybe I get some credit on there, but I had nothing to do with that.
So Diamond Boy is your latest release then with Enuff Z'Nuff.
They have a new record, which I have nothing to do with as well, which is just came out we played the Monsters of Rock show. When was that? July 10th is when the new album came out, but I had nothing to do with that either. Chip was, Enuff Z'Nuff is Chip's baby, and he has to do that. That's his thing. And I was doing a bunch of my own stuff at the time when they were doing the new record. So I didn't have time to lend anything to it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Chip always comes up with great melodies and everything. Chip's a great musician. Love playing with that guy.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy, man. I've met him on several occasions, man. He's class act, man.
Yeah.
So I noticed you've been in several bands. I mean, I know you way back. I mean, when you did Tornado Alley and you did Motherlode, the Black Mollies was another one, and that's something else I wanted to talk to you about. Now, the drummer Joe, is that correct?
Yep.
Now, did he play with you in Enuff Z'Nuff for a while?
Nope, never did.
Okay.
But you know what the funniest thing is, Joe was the biggest Enuff Z'Nuff fan when we were in Tornado Alley. And man, he used to listen to Strength all the time. And he's the one that turned me on to Enuff Z'Nuff back in the day in Tornado Alley.
Yeah, Strength is a great album, man. You know, them first few records were they're classics, man.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, every record they have has just, the songwriting's insane, you know? It's just, they're always great, whether the production's great or not on some of those albums after the major label is up for debate, but the songwriting to me was always really good.
Okay, so help me out, man. When you first got in Enuff Z'Nuff, there was a drummer. Was his name Mike or
Randy
Scott. Thank you. It's been it's been a while, man. So Randy, now he's doing a bunch of tour managing now.
Yep, he works for Stryper.
Is he still doing the Stryper gig? Okay.
As far as I know, I mean, I don't know what anybody's doing right now. I think we're all just hoping for this crap to get over with so we can go back to work.
Okay.
But I'm assuming he still is working for Stryper. He was with them on the boat.
Okay. So the reason I was asking, I thought maybe it was Joe, because I remember Randy having some Black Molly's drumsticks when I came to one of the Enuff Z'Nuff shows.
You know, that was super weird. People always ask me how I got in Enuff Z'Nuff. And it's funny. Alex Kane is blowing me up right now for some reason. He has no idea I'm doing this.
That's all.
We were on tour with the Black Mollies. This is so funny because I'm sitting here looking at an old Black Mollies, our PR kit. I was unpacking my stuff and I found a little promo pack from the Black Mollies. And I just put a picture of it on my Facebook. But we were on tour with the Black Mollies when I was living in LA, and Randy was in a band called Supermint. And we get to Cedar Falls, which was my hometown for a long time, Cedar Falls, Iowa. And there's this big tour bus sitting out front of the Reverb, which is this cool upstairs rock club. And I'm like, whoa, we're headlining this gig. Who's the band with the cool tour bus? And it turned out to be Randy. And Randy had the bus, and Supermint played with us. And he was like, hey, man, you should come on the bus after the show. And I went up there. I was like, whoa, this is cool. And he's like to ride on a tour bus? I was like, yeah, that'd be great, man. He's like, well, that's cool because I love the Black Mollies. I'm going to cut the brake line in Joe's car, and you and I are going to play together someday. And I think Joe moved to Kentucky, and Randy ended up being the new drummer for the Black Mollies.
Gotcha. Okay.
I went to Rocklahoma 2008. I think it's 2008 when CJ, Randy, Chip, and Donnie, and CJ Zuter was going to Japan to do his disco band. And Chip was like, bro, we need a guitar player to fill in. I was like, I'd love to do it. And started doing that, and that was it. Like, he was gone for, I think, 3 or 6 months, and I just ended up being the guy.
Right on. Well, yeah, it makes sense now. Randy's his name. I just kind of was drawing a blank there for a minute, but Randy did play with you in the Black Mollies. That's what I was getting at.
Yep. Sorry to make that a really long story.
No, that's fine, man. You cleared it up for me because I was drawing a blank, but I knew that he'd played with you, and I knew you guys played in Enuff Z'Nuff together for a while. So
yeah, we did both bands for quite a while.
Yeah,
and I think it's funny is, the Black Mollies. I ended up going to the UK with the Black Mollies because of Randy, and I think we went there before Enuff Z'Nuff. Before I went there with Enuff Z'Nuff, but that's what kind of started my international touring.
Awesome.
So that was cool.
Yeah, because I got some of the Black Molly guitar picks, and I got a couple drumsticks from that Enuff Z'Nuff show that I've seen when you guys were playing.
Yeah. Yep. I'm doing more Black Molly stuff.
Cool.
I think at one point I'd put out, I kind of put everything out there on SoundCloud because I was like, well, the Black Mollies are kind of out of my system. It was more of a pop punk, younger kind of music. And I started listening to it, and I was like, well, it's just kind of rock music. Our image was more pop punk, and we jumped up and down a lot and wanted to be lit. But Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just good rock music. And I'd gone down, I recorded a couple songs with Michael Wagner in Nashville.
Okay.
And I thought the vocals got hurried along. We did them like early in the morning, and I never liked the vocals on them. So we didn't really release them, whatever releasing music means anymore. It's just, we never threw those up on the internet and asked 99 cents for them. Right. But I think I'm gonna redo the vocals on those and try to get some more Black Molly stuff going.
That'd be great.
Now that I have all the time in the world.
Yeah, hopefully this ain't, forever, man. Because I'm jonesing to get out there and see some live music, man.
Yeah, man. It had to happen in a year that we were booked so much. We had so many cool tours and stuff going on, and it was just like we were in Australia when all this kind of went down. I think it was that February, Marchish area. And we were supposed to go right from Australia to London. And then from London, we'd do like 10 shows in the UK. And then we were supposed to go to Italy. And then me and my girlfriend were going to meet in Italy and go to the Isle of Capri for 10 days. And it was like, nope. And by the way, you're not going to tour for the rest of the year.
Man. Yeah, I know it, man. I feel for you guys too, man, because, that's what you do, man. And you guys probably going a little stir crazy sitting around the house not doing anything.
Oh man, I'm honestly making the most of this all, just because I had so many songs and so many projects that I was like, man, if I ever had a little bit of time off from the road, I would have 10 records out. And so I'm just really, it sucks and I hate it that we can't play, and the future is, who knows, we have that Faster Pussycat tour is still, they pushed it back to September, and every day they're like, no, it's still happening. I'm like, it's August, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's getting worse. So I don't know, but I really don't see anyone playing for the rest of this year as far as touring and stuff.
Right.
But I'm really I'm getting so much done. I have a little studio here at the house, and just writing and recording and doing the most with what I can. So
absolutely
making the best of it.
Yeah, it wasn't how you planned it, but you got your time off, man.
Yeah. So I could have used a smaller chunk of time off, but
yes, absolutely.
I guess at some point I'm going to have a ton of music. But you know what the problem with that is? And it is just that the music isn't what makes you money. The living of a musician now is touring.
Right.
The releasing music is for people and bands that love to write music, because there sure the hell is no money in it for anyone other than Katy Perry.
Right. So, man, this one kind of got by me, and I had no idea that you even did this, but you were in the Bullet Boys for a short stint.
I wouldn't say I was in the Bullet Boys, but okay. I sure played with them.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I played with them. I played with him.
With Mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that. How long did that go on for?
1 year. It was the longest 10 years of my life.
Wow.
1 year. I mean, I have no reason that I just don't want to talk shit, but it's just the whole time I was in Enuff Z'Nuff. Enuff Z'Nuff was my main thing, but they ended up, the bass player from the Black Mollies named Stephen Allen. He'd been doing some Black Molly shows. He ended up playing bass for Mark, and then they needed a guy to fill in. I was the fill-in guy that became permanent in every hair band. But, yeah, I said that I would fill in for a couple shows, and then I ended up, he was basically, I think that was when Michael Thomas was kind of leaving, maybe going to Faster Pussycat.
Okay.
But, yeah, and then we did a tour. He's like, oh, I need a guy to tour. And I was like, well, I don't have anything going on there. So we did a tour with Faster Pussycat and Bang Tango. Bang Tango needed a guitar player because they couldn't afford to bring a guy. So I ended up playing guitar for them on the whole tour. and never got paid a penny for a month and a half of shows with 2 bands.
Wow. Well, I didn't mean to bring up any old memories, man. I just thought, man,
No.
I didn't know nothing about you. I didn't even know you played with the Bullet Boys at all. I had no idea that you did that.
Yeah.
So I just was just curious. So,
yeah. I mean, looking back, it was, even though I never got paid for any of it,
wow.
I got to ride around on a tour bus, I guess, for a year and made some good friends, got to see a lot of friends. So it is what it is,
right.
I guess.
So I know this is off. Well, ain't not really off the music subject, but it's off the whole band thing. But you're big into collecting vinyl, man. What are some of your favorite pieces you own?
Whew, man, this is funny because I just got all my vinyl back from all my stuff was at my parents' in Iowa, and we had to do that Monsters of Rock show in Cincinnati recently. I had my ticket bought, my flight and all that, and I was like, I'm just going to stop at my parents and get the rest of my stuff. So we did that, and mostly what I wanted was my vinyl. And so, yeah, we've just been going through it a little bit. The stuff that I saw recently that I haven't got a chance to go through. I don't even know what I have, honestly. But yeah, I mean, I guess the original Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction is one of my favorite pieces that I have there. Kiss Alive 2, since that's the original album that made me play music when I was 12 years old. I like that piece.
Yeah, that's great that you said that, because that was my first actual vinyl that I owned, was the Kiss Alive 2 album, and that kind of put me in that whole musical direction, man. I just love that record. Oh
yeah, I was a Kiss fanatic, and pretty much still am. I mean, I love, we did the Kiss cruise and just met so many cool Kiss fans over the years, and the guys from Ace and Gene's band, all those guys are super cool. We toured with Ace freely in Enuff Z'Nuff. That was super cool.
Yeah. Well, Ace has done some great records over the last decade, man. That guy's really been putting them out.
Yeah. That was a fun tour. We went.
I bet.
Yeah, it's cool.
So who were some of your musical influences growing up? Guitar players, singers, or whatever. It doesn't. Anybody stand out?
Well, I would say it started with maybe Eddie Van Halen, Ace. Those two guys were my. Since Kiss Alive 2 I spent a lot of time jumping off my bed with a tennis racket to the gatefold open on Kiss Alive 2. And then Van Halen 1 really just like turned my head around. I remember telling my mom and dad, I learned this song off this Van Halen. This is the best guitar player in the world. I learned this song off there called You Really Got Me. I didn't even, like I was young. I didn't even know it was a Kinks song.
Right.
But I was like, I'm just sliding the chords back and forth going, wow, I can play a Van Halen song.
That's great, man.
That's awesome. So, I mean, Eddie and Ace were my earliest. And then once I graduated high school in Iowa, I went to GIT in Hollywood when I was 18, right out of high school, from the cornfields of Iowa right to downtown Hollywood, which was quite shocking. And there I met Paul Gilbert. He was like the guy that I learned the most from, I would say, and basically became a huge influence on my playing. After that, I thought he was the most incredible guitar player. I still think he's incredible.
Oh, Paul's amazing.
Yeah, I don't think people give him enough credit because of the shredder thing, but the guy can play anything.
Oh, he can. Yeah. I was fortunate enough. I've seen Paul do a few other, do some off stuff, but I got to see Mr. Big a few years ago, and man, I don't know if you've ever seen Mr. Big live, but my God, that is just a monster show.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing those guys at the Lone Star in Kansas City, which is like a pretty small club, and just so powerful.
Yeah, that guy's amazing. He's a monster. That's what I call
Yeah.
him. He's a monster. He's not human.
Yep, for sure.
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what, Tory, man, it's been great talking to you, man. I don't want to hold you up all night, man, but,
Yeah, man, good talking to you.
yeah, I appreciate the stories and
Got off on a few tangents there. You're probably like, I got to get out and get rid of this guy.
Oh,
Talk for you.
I love it, man. I love it. And I enjoy it, man. I enjoy hearing the stories behind, how things became what they were, It's kind of cool.
Yeah. We skipped Motherload, though. I don't want to take up a lot more of your time, but this record that I did it's coming out on August 28th, was a band I had in 1994 in Kansas City. The album did pretty good, like nationwide. It was like #1 in Salt Lake City. I think we sold 5,000 units just in that city alone.
All right.
But I never, it was kind of, 95, I think is when that came out, and kind of grunge had taken over. And the singer was still singing like Iron Maiden. And I was writing these like Alice in Chains songs. And I was always just like, man, I'd love to go back and sing those the way that I heard those when I wrote them. And I finally did. I found the 2-inch tapes, had a studio in Iowa, put them on Pro Tools, and I redid all the vocals, and I'm releasing that at the end of August.
Yeah, you just released one on your Facebook page, correct?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Damn.
Yep.
Yeah,
so fans of heavy rock.
Yeah, shit.
Lots of shredding guitar playing, and just like sounds like what music was in 1995. And I know a lot of people that enjoy that style besides myself.
Awesome. So you say that whole thing's going to come out here in a couple weeks?
Yep. So check it out.
Oh, I will, buddy. I will. No doubt, man. I like to dig into a lot of everything. So I sure will.
And we have another, we're finishing up a new Black 7, probably an EP, because I think we've released a bunch of singles since the last CD. So I think we're going to put those all on CD. If people buy those anymore, I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. But and we did a cover, and I was asking a lot of guitar player friends to contribute to. I did Lay Down Sally by like kind of Clapton's version.
Okay.
But I had a bunch of guitar player friends of mine send me solos, so I'm probably going to have a 10-minute version of that with as many people. I'm still taking solos, so if any guitar players hear this and want to send me a solo, I can send them the rhythm part, and it doesn't even have to be guitar. I said, hell, play whatever you want over it, and I'll sift through it and see if it's cool enough to put on a record.
That's a pretty slick idea, man. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. Got that from Dweezil Zappa when he did that Staying Alive with all those guitar players.
You get enough guys on it, you might have to make it a double album, man.
Yeah. Continue now on side 4.
Here you go.
Please turn the record over.
That's great, man. I love it. So
awesome. Thanks for letting me mention that.
Oh, no problem, man. I did bring up Motherload, but we never got into it. So I'm glad you did. So
yeah.
Yep. So, but cool. No, it was great having you, man. I appreciate it. Is there anything you'd like to promote besides Motherload? When's the new Black 7 coming out? Is there a release date for that?
We don't. Jason is an awesome artist. He's done all the artwork for new Black 7 stuff. He's working on a cover right now. So I think we're trying to stagger it, so everything doesn't come out at the same time. So probably just maybe in October, I would say.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that, man. I always enjoyed, watching a lot of those videos you'd post, man. You singing some of that stuff or some of the old school country stuff, man. I always thought you had a real good knack for that stuff, man.
Oh, thanks. That's what I grew up with in Iowa. I of course rebelled against my parents' country music and went into rock and roll, grew my hair out, moved to Hollywood. But you know what? When I came back to it later in life, at one point when I would make fun of that stuff, I came back to it and I was like, it felt really comfortable. And some of the Black Molly stuff that I sang was a little out of my range. And when I came back to singing country music, I was like, geez, this is where my voice is. I have a low voice, you know?
Right.
It's kind of trashed right now from singing so much, but yeah.
Well, that's great, man. I appreciate it, buddy.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Maybe we can have you back on when the new Black 7 comes out or any of those other albums you're working on.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I hope everybody out there's hanging in there with the mental health and keeping healthy. So, yeah, hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Perfect, Tory. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man.
Take care.
It easy.
Bye-bye. That concludes today's episode of the Metal Bob Live podcast. Please go to our website to check our sponsor links. And thank you for listening. Metal Bob out.